In 1960, when Domino's Pizza first opened, the entire day's sales amounted to just 14. But who could have imagined that a boy who sold newspapers with neither a father's support nor a mother's love would one day become the owner of over 18,000 pizza outlets worldwide? However, this victory against the odds was far from straightforward. The pizza store, started with borrowed money, faced countless challenges on its journey to success. At times, his brother would abandon him, all his savings would be lost to fraud, or a partner would betray him. Most significantly, the store's name itself belonged to someone else, leading to million-dollar legal battles. There were also genuine viral videos that threatened the reputation that the Domino's owner had painstakingly built over the years. This is the story of Thomas Monahan, the owner of Domino's, who, despite facing numerous hardships, went from zero to building a billion-dollar empire. Ladies and gentlemen, on March 25th, 1937, Thomas Monahan was born into a middle-class family in Michigan. His father, a truck driver, struggled to make ends meet, while his mother worked as a nurse in a school. Tragically, when Thomas was just 4 years old, his father passed away. Unable to support both of her sons, his mother placed Tom and his brother Jim in the care of the government for 7 years. Tom's childhood was filled with hardships. He grew up without a father's support or a mother's love, facing only the harsh realities of boarding school life. He struggled academically, barely passing high school, and despite eventually getting admitted to the University of Michigan, he couldn't afford the tuition fees. Life kept throwing challenges at him. To make ends meet, he started delivering newspapers door to door, where he learned the basics of business and never missed an opportunity to save money. Just as he was starting to get by, a significant portion of his savings was lost to fraud. It was at this low point, in 1959, when Tom's brother Jim approached him with a business idea that would change their lives forever. Jim, who worked as a mailman, also did a part-time job at a restaurant owned by a man named Dominic DeVarty. Dominic had another restaurant in Michigan that had been closed for some time and was willing to sell it at a low price. He was asking for $500, but with the condition that the buyer would also take on the restaurant's $2,000 debt. When Jim brought this opportunity to Tom, they decided to purchase the restaurant together. Tom took out a $900 loan from the post office and bought the restaurant from Dominic, keeping the original name. In return, Dominic shared some of his recipes and taught them how to make the sauce. They planned to operate the restaurant from 5 p.m. to 12 a.m., ensuring that Jim's job at the post office wouldn't be disrupted and that Tom could continue pursuing his dream of studying at university. They officially opened the restaurant on December 9th, 1960, and made $14 in sales on the very first day. During the first week, they didn't even have a phone, which meant all the customers had to walk in themselves. Soon after, they started offering home delivery services and hired 2 factory workers for the job. Within 4 months, their daily sales reached $107. However, this surge in sales was largely due to a nearby college. When the college semester ended, the sales dropped from $107 to $28. Jim, due to his job at the post office, spent very little time at the restaurant and barely contributed to the work. As the sales began to decline, tensions between the brothers escalated, leading to frequent arguments and even physical altercations at one point. Just 8 months after opening the restaurant, Jim decided to part ways with the business, even though it had been his idea to start it. In exchange for his 50% share, Tom gave him a new Volkswagen car, which he had bought for pizza delivery. Jim happily took the car, unaware of how much he was losing in this deal. Now, Tom became the sole owner of the restaurant, which meant he had to work full-time, sacrificing his dream of attending university. He often stayed at the restaurant for days on end, surviving on leftover pizza at night. Gradually, sales began to rise again, and Tom hired 2 more workers, bringing the daily sales up to 50. During his free time, he visited other pizza stores and conducted market research. During this period, he befriended the owner of an Italian hotel, who shared his famous sauce recipe with Tom. When Tom applied this sauce at Dominic's, customers loved it, and sales continued to grow. Someone then suggested to Tom that he should open a second branch of his store. However, to do so, he needed a partner to manage the first restaurant, as his brother was no longer with him.
Eventually, Tom found a partner, but this partnership would nearly ruin all of Tom's hard work. One day, a man named Jim Gilmore visited the restaurant and Tom immediately recognized him as a well-known restaurateur in the city. As they discussed the restaurant business, Tom shared his plan to open a new branch. Given Gilmore's experience in running restaurants, they struck a deal. The agreement was that Gilmore would invest $500 and become a 50% owner of the business. Gilmore was also supposed to run the first Dominick's restaurant. However, he informed Tom that he didn't have the $500 at the moment and would pay it later. Since Tom desperately needed a partner, he agreed. As a result, Gilmore became a 50% owner of Dominick's without making any down payment, and he never paid the money to Tom even later. Tom proceeded to open the second branch and handed over the management of the first branch to Gilmore. This was the point where Tom began to realize his mistake, as he had handed over 50% of his business to a stranger without proper background checks. Soon, the sales and pizza quality at the first branch started to decline, and Tom began to suspect that Gilmore was secretly siphoning off money. Jim Gilmore, who ran 2 other restaurants in the city, had a history of alcoholism and had gone bankrupt twice because of it. Tom had hoped that Gilmore had reformed, but that wasn't the case. Additionally, Gilmore slyly added clauses to their agreement, making himself entitled only to the profits from Dominick's, while leaving Tom solely responsible for covering any losses. Eventually, Tom found himself working at both branches while Gilmore only showed up when he felt like it. Essentially, Gilmore was taking unfair advantage of Tom. Tom tried multiple times to terminate the agreement, but due to legal complications, he couldn't break free from the partnership. The situation finally escalated to the point where the matter went to court, which ultimately ended Tom and Gilmore's partnership. However, Tom had to bear all the losses caused during this time. But this didn't mean that all of Tom's problems were solved. The next conflict arose with the person whose name Tom was using for his business, Dominick DeVarty. When Dominick noticed that Tom was running 2 stores under his name and making good sales, he became professionally jealous. Dominick himself ran a restaurant in the city under his own name, which caused significant confusion among customers. So he called Tom and demanded that he stop using his name for the business. This news hit Tom like a bolt of lightning, as he had poured his heart and soul into promoting the Dominick's name. Suddenly changing the name meant all of Tom's hard work could go to waste. Someone advised Tom to choose a name that was similar to Dominick's, because at that time, people often looked up names in the phone book. A similar name would still appear on them on the same page as Dominick's, making it easier for customers to find Tom's restaurant. For days, Tom and his team brainstormed for a name that resembled Dominick's, but nothing seemed right. Finally, a pizza delivery driver suggested a name, Domino's. Tom loved the name. From that day on, the business operated under the name Domino's instead of Dominick's. Changing the name also meant they had to change the logo, so they simply used a domino tile as their logo. Since Domino's had only 3 stores at the time, they placed 3 dots on the tile. Now, if anyone asks you, you can easily explain what the 3 dots on Domino's logo represent. With a new name, Thomas continued to work hard to make the business profitable. Domino's growth began with an unusual event. One day, most of Domino's staff was on leave, so Tom decided to simplify the menu by removing extra items and selling only pizzas. That day, Domino's made more profit than usual. Tom realized that a large menu only added to the workload, while a smaller menu could be more profitable. From that day on, Domino's removed extra items from the menu and focused solely on pizzas, eventually offering only 2 sizes, 8-inch and 12-inch. In addition, Tom noticed that offering dine-in facilities required extra staff, which increased workload and reduced profit margins. He revolutionized the delivery business by using insulated boxes to keep the pizzas hot, and by introducing delivery pouches, which further improved the service. Remember, these delivery pouches, now commonly used for pizza delivery, were first introduced by Domino's. With these innovations in delivery, Domino's gained a significant edge over its competitors. For instance, Pizza Hut focused more on dine-in facilities, while Domino's maintained the same prices but had a higher profit margin since it didn't have to spend on dine-in services. By now, Tom had been in the business for 7 years, and Domino's was growing rapidly compared to its competitors. In 1967, Tom decided to start franchising. New stores were opened near colleges and military bases, where the demand for pizza was high. instead of wasting money on mainstream media for advertisements. Domino's placed ads in college newspapers, which were both cheaper and more effective. In the next 2 years, 32 Domino's franchises were opened. Initially, there were some quality issues, but they were later resolved. By the end of 1960, 42 stores had opened in Michigan, Vermont, and Ohio. By 1978, Domino's had more than 200 outlets across the United States. Domino's growth seemed unstoppable, but then something happened that caused a significant setback for the company. In the 1980s, Domino's delivery service had become immensely popular. Seeing this, their competitors, especially Pizza Hut, started focusing on delivery, wanting to compete directly with Domino's. To stay ahead, Domino's decided to enhance their already excellent delivery service with a new strategy. In 1984, they began marketing a guarantee. If the pizza wasn't delivered within 30 minutes, it would be free. This strategy caused Domino's sales to skyrocket like never before. For customers,
This deal was perfect. They would either get their pizza quickly or for free. This campaign further boosted Domino's growth. By the 1980s, Domino's had grown from 200 stores in the US to over 5,000 worldwide, making it the fastest growing chain at the time. But Tom didn't realize that this strategy would eventually backfire on Domino's. In 1989, a 17-year-old Domino's driver, rushing to deliver a pizza on time, got into an accident with his truck and died on the spot. This incident was widely reported, and it was noted that the young boy lost his life in the rush to deliver a pizza on time. It's evident that in the rush to deliver pizzas on time, drivers were breaking traffic rules and speeding recklessly. Soon, this issue started getting highlighted in national magazines. A report was published revealing that Domino's fast delivery policy had resulted in 20 fatal accidents in just 1 year. In another incident, a Domino's driver ran over a couple, resulting in the wife's death on the spot. Due to this accident, Domino's was fined $32 million. In 1993, another case surfaced where Domino's driver ran a red light, causing a collision that left a girl in the other car with a broken spine. This time, the court fined Domino's $78 million. These incidents led to heavy criticism of Domino's delivery service. The campaign that had once propelled them to success was now becoming a burden. At this point, Tom finally announced the end of the 30-minute delivery guarantee. It's clear that when a business becomes famous, it often attracts controversy as well. And first, there were the driver's accidents, then the Domino's Foundation issues. All these factors led Thomas Monahan to sell Domino's in 1998 for $1.1 billion. However, the controversies didn't end there. In 2009, a video went viral on YouTube showing 2 Domino's employees preparing pizza in a very unhygienic manner, sneezing on the pizza, putting fingers in their noses, and using dirty hands. 5 similar videos went viral on YouTube, significantly damaging Domino's reputation. Domino's requested YouTube to remove the videos, but YouTube refused. The workers in the videos were then tracked down, which wasn't difficult since their faces were clearly visible. They explained that they were making a prank video and assured that no such pizza was ever served to customers. However, this prank caused significant damage to Domino's reputation. Today, Domino's has 18,848 branches worldwide, which is 145 more than Pizza Hut. In terms of employees, Domino's has around 13,500, while Pizza Hut has 350,000. Despite this, Domino's generates 4 times more revenue than Pizza Hut. Every day, approximately 3,000 Domino's pizzas are made worldwide. One of Domino's employees has set not 1, but 2 world records for the fastest pizza making, astonishing everyone by making 3 large pizzas in just 70 seconds. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel.